So I had to have Brian on today because we're going to spend the next 15 minutes deciding whether it's Grok or Grok. How's that sound, Brian White?
It sounds G-Rock to me.
G-Rock. That's your version, eh?
Apparently, it's not something you can pronounce in human languages. The best I've heard is that it might be Kirk, but I'm not going to call it that.
So we have a lot of confusion, though, because the author who invented the term, apparently, best we know, he says he is apparently on video pronouncing it Grok.
There you go.
But then we have Elon Musk, whose company it is, who has now created this new incredible toy. And he says, sorry, folks, it's Grok.
I just can't imagine it matters. What matters is it going to work? Is it going to do the trick? And what trick is it supposed to do?
Yes. Well, so now it has been talked about on multiple YouTube channels like ours, yours and mine. By the way, if you don't follow MyTeslaWeekend, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're doing wrong, but straighten out your act and start following Brian on his Tesla Weekend. Brian, you've obviously probably spent a little time taking a look at some of the commentary. Stephen Mark Ryan said that he's glad to see there's somebody as foul as him going to be also available online.
I guess I missed that part, but
oh no, he said because it's willing to go really foul language, really.
Oh, I see. Color. I get it.
Yes, that kind of foul.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So you know how ChatGPT works. You ask it a question, you tweak the question, you do whatever you want. You just type, you bang the keyboard, and it tries to figure out what you're talking about. And it does a remarkable job. All the AI chatbots do a remarkable job. And when they fail, a lot of the failures are not because of something they did wrong, but because the data that they trained on was deeply, inherently flawed, like a human. I saw a gentleman in the comments on my video saying, well, I don't want regurgitated Google results. I want the real, I want information. And I said, but my friend, that's what the internet is. There are whole channels that literally do nothing but repeat something, repeat what others have already said or typed or published, that are very successful and kind of nice. I enjoy them myself. I try to bring unique insight, try to find a new angle on these things, but there's no reason a large language model like ChatGPT or Grok wouldn't be able to find those insights as well. It's just one more tool, because I'm not saying that it can come up with better ideas or a better opening paragraph or a better resume. I'm saying it can do it in a fraction of a second. Mm-hmm. And that's...
And it might be, and it might at least be different. So you might have two tools that you could employ at times, depending on specifically what you're looking for. For instance, I think the biggest breakthrough for me, I need real-time information for this show. I don't need last Wednesday's information.
So we need to tell people what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So the problem with a lot of the chat bots is there's a specific cutoff in time after which they have no new information. So if you ask something like ChatGPT 3.5, tell me about the events yesterday in Tuscaloosa, where the thing happened, I don't know. It'll say, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Right.
One of the many objectives of Grok is that it's going to have the ability to continuously update. To me, the big difference between this and the others is that the one thing that made all the other ones fun was when they were new and they weren't being exploited, overused, pushed to their limits. This will push them to their limits in ways that's very fun. And there's got to be still some safeguards in place, but Elon appears to be of the belief that The safeguards are too great. We need a little more flexibility, a little more fun, a little more attitude, a little more sass, and really it needs to be uncorked. There are people who've managed to get large language models, chat bots, as it were, offline and run them themselves and adjust the parameters so that they will say and do all kinds of crazy things. And that's more fun. And it sounds like we're trying to get a little closer in that direction.
Yeah, I'm also curious. I mean, we won't know until this is out. I did a search yesterday. I was trying to get some data. I can't remember what the data was about. I think it was about employment or something like that. And I asked it for employment data that I knew was available online, and that if I searched for it, in fact, I did search for it using a Google search, and I was able to find the data. And so I asked it, could you please tell me what's going on with this? And it said, I'm sorry, I don't have that information because I cut off in whatever date. And so I asked it again. I said, but I know this data. Give me the data before that date then. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm sorry if if you're confused. Anyway, so I finally said, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm wondering if this will be any better at accumulating data from various things that are already available out there and pulling them together the way that it currently has no problem at all pulling together text, and making comparisons and even writing in the style of Shakespeare or whatever.
So we don't know those answers yet.
Yeah.
We don't know all the places it gets its data from. So what I'm trying to look at is, can this product survive in this crowded market? Mm-hmm. Because there is no shortage of alternatives. And what would it take for this one to be successful? And the first answer, one gentleman said, I don't need snarky, clever replies. I need straight replies. And I said to that, then you've got plenty of choices.
By the way, there is a humor switch. I don't know if you heard that.
I did not.
There's a humor switch, and you can toggle it over to not humor.
So if you want something that's not humor, there are 100 options already, now 101 or soon 101. But for the half of people who want something funnier, there's one. Unless every prompt at the other one you say, oh, and also be kind of funny, which is not helpful usually, because it's not what it's designed for.
Yes.
So that is a differentiating factor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually, in the early days, I tried to get it to make jokes, and to create a joke around a subject matter. I contemplated the idea of having my joke of the day, and then I started just having guests instead. Oh, did I? No. Anyway.
So I'm the joke of the day. I'll take it.
And it wasn't very good at it. It was not.
No. Also, don't buy knock joke books. They're, especially the ones that try to make up new ones. Knock, Randy.
Who's there?
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader who?
Darth Vader cookie crumbles. Brutal. Just brutal.
Brutal.
So another differentiating factor.
Yes.
Is Twitter, X, XAI, whatever we're doing here, will have a unique opportunity to monetize this product. It doesn't have to be better. It doesn't have to be the best one on the market to be the most successful one on the market, because with X integration, there's already monetization built in. This will be going first to people who are not just premium, but premium plus. Right. Premium plus. And when I saw that, I thought, I'm not buying premium plus. I found out I am a brand affiliate with Rebellionaire, and brand affiliates, because of the big monthly check they cut, we all get access to it.
I see.
We all get premium plus,
nice.
Which is great. I did not know. But this means that if you want access to it, especially early on, it's going to generate money. People say, well, I'm not paying $8 for it. No, of course not. You're paying $8 for something else that happens to include this. I'm not paying, whatever it is, 12 bucks, 15 bucks a month for Amazon Video, Prime Video,
Right.
but you give me free shipping and maybe we'll talk.
Right.
Oh, wait, that's what they do. So it's a package deal. They all survive together. And that makes sense. And the other thing I tried to explain was that getting someone to go from a $0 user to even a $1 user is very difficult. But once you've got a payment method on file, once they're accustomed to paying for something, it's a lot easier to get them to spend another dollar than it is to get them to spend the first dollar. Okay. And you've got over 500,000 people paying subscribers as of April. And I mean, giving, $1 or $5 to their favorite X creator. And then you've got people who are buying Blue, premium plus, and all the affiliates. There's a lot of paying customers already in this ecosystem. And we will find out soon enough if it works well enough for people to use, if it's different enough.
And then when it gets integrated with a PayPal type system, et cetera. Now, I know you've probably heard that Elon says he's going to also turn X into the best dating service in the world. And I think that's very likely, something that could be done. But I was going to suggest to him that he could do even better. He could get, a very substantial percentage of the population to pay the $16 a month if he would give outstanding advice on how to handle teenagers. I mean, don't you think that would?
I think that's 100 times better than what I thought you were going to say. Because we're talking about monetizing dating, and I was like, oh, here we go. Randy's at it again. Yeah. No, well, so there's the other big thing is right now the payment system is kind of a mess. If you subscribe to people, as I do, there's a couple of people I subscribe to, I get charged twice a month, one for each of them. And I'm looking at it going, wow, X is paying bank fees when I have a balance outstanding on my account that they could have just drawn from.
Yeah.
They're giving money to banks for no reason.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be so much easier if I instead got, because then signing up for, the premium plus, you wouldn't even notice it. You wouldn't even feel it if it comes out of your existing balance.
Right. So one of the things, of course, that we've had something that Gary Black, I think, created the idea a couple of years ago called Twitter overhang on the Tesla stock. And so anything that makes X more successful and therefore subtracts from the notion that Elon would ever have to sell stock in order to bolster the cash reserves of X should be a benefit to the stock. And you would also think that the Tesla stock would benefit from the integration or the various ways that X and Tesla will now be able to have services in common or services between them, or, and yet the stock, you said just before we went on the air, I think you said the stock was down this morning. It started off quite nicely up. You had a theory as to why it went down.
I did? Did I?
Something about Cramer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, Jim Cramer said, new Tesla price target, 300. And everyone said, Cramer, sell it. Sell it. You know what? I don't even have a button, but I'm going to just start smacking my desk and yelling sell. Yeah, no, it's the reverse Cramer is a real effect. It's that poor guy. He just can't give himself a break.
Yeah, well, he certainly gave us all some, heart attacks last week with his lying and conniving and misstatements about the Cybertruck. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, I will say on the Twitter overhang, I don't know if that's still a factor. We haven't seen anything that would indicate that there's a correlation today, that the company is in any immediate danger where Elon would need to sell shares. And if he did, it wouldn't be much, especially compared to the market cap. Right. But yeah, the company is starting to monetize better. The only concern is not operating costs, but the cost of the debt.
Debt,
And I don't know what the cost of the debt is. I can't believe it's debt. I was just sure it was going to be equity partners who would all be on the hook for their own chunk of it. And
Yeah,
the fact that
apparently no, he was not able to raise enough equity without going to the banks. But in any case, all right. So what would help you the most if Grok, when you get your opportunity to go on Grok, in terms of your daily life? What are you using ChatGPT now, or what do you think this might be better at? Is there anything that you've thought of that?
So I don't use ChatGPT. I used it when it was brand new because it was a novelty and I thought it was kind of fun, but the novelty wore thin instantly. What I did get a question, what could Tesla use it for? How could Tesla benefit from it? And you have to step back and realize it's not just language, it's any kind of input it can learn from.
Right.
So one example I came up with is every time I back out of my driveway, because I have hardware 4 with no ultrasonic sensors, it's using the cameras and saying, you're gonna crash into the hedge, and it's screaming at me and it's throwing chimes and warning sounds. And I'm nowhere near the hedge. It's less than 2 feet away, but I'm going dead straight. This car is significantly narrower than my minivan was. I know how to back out of my driveway. This is the sort of thing that an AI could learn to ignore, not ignore, but adjust and say, unless you're getting closer to it, it's not a concern. And that would make my life better, because these warnings are counterproductive at this point.
Yes.
It is training me to ignore all the warnings.
Right.
So if there's a pedestrian out there, I wish them the best.
Well, did you? I know you mentioned that you came a little later to the information. You realize that there's going to be this inference capability that may be monetizable by Tesla owners
by using the compute within your car.
Yes.
This would be a game changer on a level that defies understanding. If Tesla says to you, look, I know you're paying 7-8 cents in the overnight. Give me some of that. I'll give it back to you 3-fold, 5, 10-fold, whatever it is. If you look at some of the compute that was put together by large clusters for projects like SETI or gene folding, there was a ton of these projects. Your car today could probably do, as much as 100 or 1,000 of those computers back in the 90s.
Right.
And now multiply that by how many millions of cars will there be? And the compute starts getting crazy. We've got this massive, massive, massive problem. How's 3 hours sound?
Right.
We could get it done. Now you're going to have to pay for it, but they were going to have to pay for the juice anyway. Paying a little extra for the juice and nothing for the chip is a fantastic deal. They'd have to pay for the data, I assume, but maybe this is restricted to only people with premium connectivity in the first place.
Right.
So it would be the cheapest cluster ever put in practice, apart from SETI, where they literally paid nothing and also got no results.
Yeah, that's right. Well, according to Elon, he would know.
He would know
if there were aliens, if there were beings anywhere in the universe other than on Earth, he would probably be the most likely person to know, given that, he's got, I don't know, some special knowledge about space. I don't know.
Well, he is, he'd be very high on the list of people likely to have that information. The problem I had with SETI was I felt they were looking for the wrong thing. Pointing at a star and listening for radio waves from one of the planets, it's going to be drowned out. You won't hear it. So it was a great project. I'm glad it happened, but I'm not surprised by the results.
Well, okay. I know that Grok or Grok or Grok or G-Rock. I mean, you have any more you want to add while we're here?
No, I should have thought about it, but
that's the best. That's the best.
I did enjoy the long rolling R in Grok, but
I'm an Irishman after all, at least a quarter Irish, and I don't do accents, so never mind. I shouldn't have even tried. Brian, as always, thank you for bringing us up to date and casting your spell over yet another division of the Elon empire. And I think we're going to have you on again tomorrow. Can you
Sounds
come?
like a plan.
Okay.
No, but I will anyway.
Let's see. And certainly that's a good point or a good thing to end on for today. It's been great talking to you.